how your brain sabotages your English and how to fix it.
What if I told you that your brain is secretly sabotaging your English and it thinks it's helping you?
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Neurofluency, where you learn English by decoding human psychology. I am John.
Great, so my brain is the villain now. Fantastic, I always suspected it. I am Mary. Let's find out how our brain can sabotage us.
Trust me, it's not your grammar, it's not your vocabulary, it's your brain's survival system kicking in at the worst possible moment.
Every time you try to speak English and you freeze, forget words, or suddenly feel stupid,
your brain is activating the same mechanism it uses for danger. Yes, your brain reacts to English like it reacts to a snake.
well, in my case, English is a snake, a big one, and angry.
And the most shocking part? You don't control it. Your brain does it automatically, in milliseconds.
But here's the twist. The problem didn't start with English. It started with how your brain was trained to deal with mistakes, judgment, and pressure.
So it's not about learning more words. It's about rewiring the system?
Exactly. You don't need more English. You need a brain that feels safe thinking in English.
I once had a student who could read complex text, but couldn't order a coffee without panicking. He told me, "My mind goes blank." And he wasn't lying. His brain was literally shutting down parts of his working memory.
Poor guy. That was me, wasn't it?
Mary, I would never expose you like that.
So it was me.
Today, we're going to expose the 3 mechanisms your brain uses to sabotage your English and how to turn all of them in your favor.
Good. Because if I can't fire my brain, I at least want to negotiate with it.
By the end of this episode, you'll understand exactly why your brain freezes, why you translate everything, why you feel judged, and most importantly, how to rewire your mind to think in English, not survive it.
Okay, John, you've convinced me. My brain is dramatic, emotional, and apparently afraid of English. But why does it do that? What's actually happening up there?
Great question. And here's where things get interesting, because the moment you try to speak English, your brain isn't thinking about grammar. It's thinking about survival.
Survival? I'm just trying to say good morning, not escape a tiger.
Exactly, but your brain doesn't know the difference. It reacts to anything that feels like potential embarrassment, judgment, or uncertainty as if it were a real threat.
So my brain sees a native speaker and says, danger, retreat, shut everything down.
Pretty much. And to understand why this happens, we need to open the black box of your brain's automatic system, the part that decides your reactions before you even notice.
All right, let's open the box. But please tell me there's at least some good news inside.
There is, because once you understand how your brain reacts, you can finally stop fighting it and start rewiring it.
Okay, I'm ready. Show me how the sabotage starts.
Let's begin with the first and most powerful mechanism, the one that shuts down your English before the words even leave your mouth.
Block 1. Your brain is afraid of English, literally. The threat response, the neurobiology behind freezing.
All right, let's start with the biggest saboteur, your threat response, the brain's danger detection system.
Wait, what? Danger? I'm speaking English, not wrestling a bear.
True, but your brain doesn't care what the threat is. It only reacts to what feels threatening. And speaking English triggers one of the oldest social survival circuits we have.
The science in 15 seconds.
When you're about to speak English, your brain runs a lightning-fast calculation. Is there any chance I'll be judged, rejected, or look incompetent? If the answer is even slightly yes, your amygdala fires a danger signal.
So my amygdala hears my accent and goes, nope, shut everything down.
Pretty much. When that alarm goes off, your body enters fight or flight mode. Breathing tightens, facial muscles tense, working memory shrinks, words disappear, sentences fall apart. It's like trying to type while your computer restarts.
Why you freeze?
Most people know fight or flight, but there's a third response: freeze. And guess which one the brain prefers during English conversations?
Freeze, obviously. The classic.
Your brain literally hits pause because saying nothing feels safer than saying something wrong. This protected our ancestors, but today it blocks your fluency.
Key vocabulary, brain plus English learning. Threat response, your brain's danger alert. Fight or flight, the body's survival mode. Freeze, to mentally shut down. Social threat, fear of judgment. Working memory collapse, when your thinking space shrinks.
Let's continue.
So, when I try to speak English, my brain thinks I'm in danger.
Not physical danger, social danger. And to your brain, social danger feels almost the same.
Great. So I don't need more vocabulary, I need therapy.
Maybe both. But don't worry, there is a way to train your brain to feel safe, not threatened, when you speak English.
And the sabotage gets even worse, because right after the threat response, another system crashes. Your working memory, the part of your brain that holds your sentences together.
Yes, the part that abandons me every time I need a verb.
Exactly. Let's talk about why your brain overloads itself and why translating makes everything 10 times worse.
Block 2. Working memory overload. Why your brain can't handle speaking English.
The mental bottleneck that crashes your fluency.
So, after the threat response kicks in, your brain makes a second mistake, and this one is deadly for fluency. Your working memory gets overloaded.
Working memory? Is that the fancy word for the tiny room in my brain where everything gets lost?
Exactly. Working memory is the part of your brain responsible for holding and manipulating information in real time, and speaking English demands a lot from it.
Why translating makes everything 10 times worse?
Most learners try to speak English using a 3-step mental process. Think in their native language, translate, speak. That's like running 3 apps at once on a 2008 smartphone.
And expecting it not to crash.
Exactly. When you translate, your working memory has to juggle grammar structure, vocabulary retrieval, pronunciation, social anxiety, self-monitoring, the fear of sounding stupid. It's too much data. And when working memory gets overloaded, it collapses.
What collapse looks like?
Working memory collapse feels like your mind is going blank, forgetting simple words, losing your sentence halfway, mixing grammar, speaking slower than you think.
So that explains why I forget the easiest words. I once forgot how to say water.
Water, Mary, water!
That wasn't a vocabulary problem. That was an overload problem. Key vocabulary.
Working memory, your temporary mental workspace. Overload, too much information at once. Mental bottleneck, when processing slows to a crawl. To translate in your head, the fluency killer. Collapse, when the system shuts down.
Why automatic thinking matters.
Fluent speakers don't translate. They use automatic thinking, meaning the brain pulls English directly without passing through another language.
So fluency isn't about knowing more English, it's about reducing the load on my working memory.
Exactly. You don't become fluent by adding more information. You become fluent by removing steps.
But the sabotage doesn't stop there, because even when your brain has the capacity to speak, your beliefs can shut everything down.
Oh, great. So not only is my brain overloaded, it's also biased?
Very. Let's talk about the cognitive biases that silently block your English without you even noticing.
Block 3. The cognitive biases that secretly block your English. why your brain keeps you stuck even when you know English.
Now, let's talk about the invisible forces, the psychological blind spots that quietly sabotage your English without you noticing.
So, my brain is scared, overloaded, and biased. Fantastic, what a combo.
Welcome to being human. Cognitive biases affect every decision you make, including how you speak a second language.
Bias 1, confirmation bias. Your brain looks for proof that your English is bad.
If you believe I'm bad at speaking English, your brain starts filtering reality to confirm that belief. You remember every mistake. You ignore every success. You interpret neutral reactions as negative.
So, when someone says, "Sorry, could you repeat?" my brain translates, "You are terrible, never speak again."
Exactly. Your brain searches for evidence that matches the narrative you already believe.
Bias 2, negativity bias. Your brain gives 10 times more weight to negative experiences.
One embarrassing moment in English can outweigh hundreds of good interactions.
So my brain keeps replaying that one time I mispronounced beach and accidentally insulted everyone.
Unfortunately, yes. Your brain stores negative emotional memories more vividly because they once helped us avoid danger.
Bias 3, the spotlight effect. You think everyone is judging your English, but no one is.
This is the bias that creates anxiety when speaking English. You feel like the whole world is watching you, when in reality, everyone is focused on themselves.
So I'm the main character in a movie that no one else is watching.
Exactly. You overestimate how much attention people pay to your mistakes.
Key vocabulary, mindset plus English learning. Confirmation bias, looking for evidence that your belief is true. Negativity bias, weighting negative events more heavily. Spotlight effect, overestimating how much people notice you. Self-conscious, overly aware of yourself. To judge, evaluate or criticize.
How biases block fluency.
These 3 biases combine to create a mental cage. You expect to fail, you remember your failures, and you feel like everyone is watching you fail.
And that explains why I feel stuck, even when I know the words.
Exactly. You're not stuck because of English, you're stuck because of the story your brain tells about you in English.
But here's the good news. The brain that created the problem is the same brain that can create the solution.
Finally, let's talk about the rewiring part, because I think we've bullied my brain enough for one episode.
Deal. Let's jump into the science of how to retrain your brain to think and feel in English.
Block 4. How to rewire your brain to think in English. The science of turning survival mode into fluency mode.
So now that we know how the brain sabotages your English, it's time for the good part. How to retrain your brain to actually support your fluency.
Finally, I'm ready to upgrade my brain from panic mode to English mode.
Hack 1. Micro-speaking sessions, 30 to 60 seconds. Short bursts of speech that lower the brain's threat response.
Your brain hates big challenges, but it loves small wins. So instead of forcing long conversations, start with micro-speaking sessions, just 30 to 60 seconds.
1 minute? Even my brain can survive that.
Exactly. This rewires your threat response because you're teaching the brain speaking English is safe. Nothing bad happens. Do it once a day and watch how fast the fear drops.
Hack 2. Emotional shadowing, not robotic shadowing. Your brain learns faster when emotion is involved.
Most people shadow like robots. They repeat the words but not the emotion. And the brain learns emotion first, language second.
So I should imitate the feeling, not just the sound.
Exactly. Shadowing with emotion activates the mirror neuron system, which makes English more automatic and more natural. You're not just copying, you're rewiring.
Hack 3. Automatic thinking through labeling. Turn English into the default operating system of your thoughts.
One of the best techniques is labeling, simply naming objects, actions, and feelings in English as you go through your day.
Like, I see a cup and I say cup? That's it?
Yes, because it teaches your brain to access English without translating. You're building the foundations of automatic thinking.
Hack 4. Gradual exposure with dopamine rewards. The neuroscience of motivation applied to fluency.
If you want your brain to repeat a behavior, you need dopamine, the reward signal. So every time you speak English, reward yourself immediately.
Like chocolate?
Chocolate works, but so does celebrating the win, tracking progress, or saying, I did it. Your brain learns speaking English equals reward, and not speaking English equals threat. That shift is everything.
Key vocabulary, rewiring and fluency training. Tiny, low-pressure bursts of speaking. Shadowing, imitating speech in real time. Mirror neurons, brain cells that learn by imitation. Automatic thinking, producing language without translating. Dopamine reward, chemical reinforcement that strengthens habits.
So to rewire my brain, I need less pressure, more emotion, smaller steps, and better rewards.
Exactly. Fluency is not about forcing your brain. It's about training it.
I love it. For the first time, it feels like my brain and I are on the same team.
And that's the whole point. Once your brain feels safe, English becomes natural.
Now that you know how your brain works, let's make your English work too. Time for a quick mini lesson to lock in the vocabulary and expressions from today's episode.
Ah, yes, the part where my brain finally gets to rest and learn.
Block 5. Mini lesson. The vocabulary plus phrases your brain needs to lock in today's episode. 1. Core vocabulary of the episode. Here are the essential words and expressions your brain should associate with today's concepts. Threat and fear. Threat response, how your brain reacts to danger. Fight or flight, emergency survival mode. Freeze, the panic shutdown. Social threat, fear of judgment. Thinking in memory. Working memory, your mental workspace. Overload, too much information at once. Mental bottleneck, when thinking slows down. Collapse, when the system shuts down. Psychology and beliefs. Confirmation bias, your brain looking for proof of your belief. Negativity bias, remembering the bad more than the good. Spotlight effect, thinking everyone notices your mistakes. Rewiring in fluency training. Micro speaking sessions, short daily speaking practices. Emotional shadowing, imitating sound and emotion. Mirror neurons, the brain's imitation system. Automatic thinking, speaking without translating. Dopamine reward, reinforcing good habits.
Now that you've learned the science, the psychology, and the vocabulary, there's just one thing left to do.
Let me guess, rewire my brain again tomorrow?
Yes, and follow the channel so we can do it together.
If today's episode helped you understand your brain a little better, imagine what happens when you train it consistently.
Yeah, imagine your brain actually supporting your English instead of sabotaging it.
Exactly. So if you're ready to stop memorizing and start rewiring, make sure you follow Neurofluency.
Because fluency isn't just about English, it's about building the mind that can think in English.
We'll see you in the next episode. And until then, keep training your brain, one thought, one word, one micro session at a time.